Pam Heller, AccuQuilt's cutting expert.
And I'm Erica Botker, AccuQuilt's creativity expert.
Are you looking for a housewarming gift or something to brighten up your own kitchen? Look no further. The June Tailor Quilt-As-You-Go Toaster cover is a quick and easy project that will add cheer and charm to any kitchen.
It all starts with the batting.
Let's look at it.
Now this batting has 3 different sizes to make, depending on how big your toaster is. So let's get started. We've got our batting laid out here, and you'll notice that it's pre-printed so that you will then be adding your fabric to make it your own. It's got 3 different outer lines for those 3 different sizes.
Right.
Choose the size that works the best for you. Oh, here's a guide.
Yes, there is a guide. Yes.
That's
so
helpful.
Choose the side, and it has 3 different lines. So this one here is the small. This one here, the dots, is the medium. And then the dot and the dash is the large. And we're going to do the medium today.
Okay, that's great. Now, once you've decided your size, you want to go ahead and cut approximately 1 inch outside that outermost line.
Right.
So we've got one that's already trimmed,
Yes,
right?
yes.
Okay. So
All right.
here's one we've already trimmed down. And you've done a few other things already, haven't you?
I have. I have attached the backing and to the unprinted side of the batting.
Okay.
Okay. And I used June Tailor Quilt Basting Spray. Make sure you have it in an open area so you have good ventilation. Right. And basically what I did was I just sprayed it, put down the batting, started in the middle, and just kind of spread things out.
Yes.
And it worked perfectly. But you could also use basting spray, you could use glue stick, or you could use pins.
Right.
But our big tip is to smooth the fabric from the center out to the edges.
Right.
Then, Erica, I turned the batting side up.
Okay.
And then I stitched along this little dotted line.
And that's the size that we're going to be making. And when we turn it over, you've used a thread that we can see. And that's going to be important later on.
Yes. And it's really important that you don't miss this step.
Yes.
Because if you do, then when all your pieces aren't here, you will have no idea where to cut.
There you go.
So it's all great.
So it's important.
Yep. So we stitched along that line. And this is kind of the way we start most June Tailor Quilt-Along projects, right?
Right.
All right. So now that we've attached our batting to our backing and we've stitched along the line, I think you have the next steps, Erica.
I do. So to get you started from this point, you're going to want to follow the instructions, and you're going to cut your pieces according to those instructions. And we've got our first piece. We're going to lay that over the shape that says 1.
Right. And these are actually 5-inch squares.
Well, isn't that handy? There's a die for that.
There is. And this one uses 2-inch strips, and ta-da, there is a die for that.
There is indeed.
All right, so what we want to do is we want to attach this fabric 1 to our piece number 1. Now, Erica, why would we want to avoid a hot iron? Why?
Oh, we don't want to distort this batting.
Right.
So go ahead, and we're going to use this. You could use pins. You know how I feel about pins.
You do love a good pin.
But if you've got your fabric prepped, and I would suggest prepping your fabric. We didn't mention that.
Yes.
But you want to go ahead and spray it down with the June Tailor Starch Savvy and press it out so that it's going to make some nice crisp folds for you.
Right.
So the next piece we're going to need is piece number 2, but we're not going to lay that one over here, are
we're going to lay it here so it's the right direction, and we're going to fold it here. Now, the thing about our glue stick, this is not a school glue stick.
No, this is a fabric glue stick, and there is a difference.
Yeah. Notice it went on purple. It's going to dry clear.
I love that.
Okay.
So now we're going to lay this down. So these lines inside are what we would call placement lines. So we're going to line this up with the placement line, and then Pam's going to sew a 1/4 inch seam right down there for us.
I am. And I don't usually trim the strings or the thread until I'm all done.
Okay.
Do you do it differently?
It depends
Okay.
on my mood.
So now what do we do here, Erica?
So now we want to go ahead and flip this piece over shape number 2. And you'll notice that that makes it line up perfectly with that placement line. And I like to use the June Tailor Magic Seam Wand and just go and use this to make sure I've got a crisp seam. Look how crisp that is. I prepped that fabric with Start Savvy, and now this is going to give me a nice crisp seam. Pam's going to glue that down again in position, and we're going to be ready now to do piece 3, which is going to be over here.
Yep.
And again, she's going to line it up.
And I'm going to
with
fold it
that
over.
placement line, and sew a 1/4 inch seam.
Yep, and we're going to do that 1/4 inch seam and flip it over just like the rest.
Right, so we're going to go follow the numbers.
Yep.
Quilt by numbers.
Quilt by numbers. All the way through number 6 are those 5-inch squares. Now,
Right.
I'm going to give you a little tip here.
Okay.
As we get to 7 and 8, these are just strips, right?
Right.
And if you follow the instructions, it will tell you how long to cut your strip.
Yes.
And here's the thing. In your quilting head, you want to think that it's going to cover all the space. But no, it just has to cover from here to here because...
So you need to, again, pay attention to the size that you're making.
Yeah, yeah. All right, so we've made one that we've done
Right.
all of the pieces.
So
and I
let's
think
take a
you have
look
it
at
here.
that. I do. So here we go. We've gone ahead and pieced this all out
Yep,
and just followed those numbers. It's all laid out.
right. Yep. So now, Erica, I'm going to give it a little glue. I'm going to use a little glue stick here on the edges, and then we're going to flip it over.
Okay.
Because now we're going to show you why you stitched to begin with. Now, Erica, we're going to flip it over.
Okay.
And then look, right here on this outer seam,
Yes.
this stitching line, we're going to go over it again. And
To
then
make
we'll show
sure
you.
that all of your pieces are tacked down.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
And keep in mind that here, there's a little notch in here. So let's just do this real quick. So now you can see where we're going to trim because we've stitched along that outer line. And that's why you do it the first time.
Right.
And then go over it. So do you want to hand me a
I would love
ruler
to.
and I'll grab a rotary cutter.
There you go.
All right. And we just want like a 1/4 inch off the edge of that stitch line because we're going to add a binding, Erica, your favorite thing to do.
My favorite thing to do.
Perfect.
Perfect.
All right. So now we have a handle.
We do.
Let's talk about it.
We do. So this is what it's going to look like when we're done. But let's talk about how we get there, right,
Yes,
Pam?
yes. And the cool thing is it comes with your kit.
That is fantastic.
So you don't have to go find some webbing.
You don't have to go find some webbing.
Yes.
That piece of webbing is going to come
Yep.
with your kit.
So what you're going to do is you're going to follow the instructions and you're going to cut a rectangle according to the instructions. And I think it's like 6 by 9 or whatever it is. And then what you're going to do is you're going to fold the edges in.
Okay.
And I cheated. I just put my webbing in here and folded it over and pressed it.
Well, that would work.
That way I knew it was going to work, right? Then you're going to press it in half, open it up, and then press the centers, right? Or
Right.
press the edges towards the center. And then look at how slick this is. Then you're going to take your webbing, and I put a little glue stick, or a little fabric
Oh,
glue
yes.
to help keep it from moving. And then look at this. And then you're just going to fold it over like it's
So
sandwich.
it's completely enclosed. You don't have any raw edges this way.
Yes.
And then you can use, I think binding
clips.
are going to be your best friend for this.
Yes, very much so.
And then once that's done, you're going to go ahead and just inside the outside edge, you're going to
Yep.
top stitch all the way around. That's going to close it off.
Yep.
And we've got a great professional looking handle ready to install.
Yeah. All right. So now, before we sew our toaster cover together,
Yes.
we want to add that handle.
Okay.
And it goes like this.
Okay.
And so this is your vertical center, right?
Oh, okay. So then you know just exactly where to place it. I love that.
Right. So, but you want to make sure that it has a little give and take, right? You don't want to lay it flat. And then I'm just going to take it and I'm just going to do an X, a square and an X.
Okay.
And then I'll do the other side.
You know what else? I just
Yes.
thought of it. You could embroider a monogram on one of these squares before you put it together.
Yes.
That would be really cool.
Yes.
My
Yes.
kids love monograms. So.
They live for that at your house.
Yes, they do.
Okay, so what's next, Erica? Do you know?
So next we're going to box these two top corners.
And this is a slick trick, and it took me a while to figure out what it is. But you're going to start here, and you're going to line up these edges and sew the side seams.
Right.
Because then we can
box
these.
them.
We can box them.
But that's why we've cut that
Yeah, and
niche
I'm going
out.
to use some bindy clips.
Okay.
Just because I like them. But it helps keep those.
Keep your layers in order.
Yeah.
Keep everything straight and even.
Yeah. Yep. Okay, and I'm going to come in, because we have that little seam, I'm just going to come in about a little bit bigger than 1/4 of an inch. And I'm going to back stitch.
A generous quarter.
A generous, that's the word. Take your time, make sure you get all the layers. Make sure you do a good back stitch.
Yes.
All right, Erica, do you want to show us how to box the corners?
I do want to show you how to box the corners. So we're going to take this corner, take those outer seams, and that's where you're going to pinch those together. And it's all going to fold together. I would say to go ahead and open up this seam. That's a thick seam there.
Yes.
And we're going to put a binding clip over it just to help keep everything in place. You want to be sure you're sewing through all your layers.
Mm-hmm. Otherwise, you'll have holes in your toaster cover.
One doesn't want holes in one's toaster cover. Okay, so there we go. We've got that, and we're going to go ahead and sew again a nice generous 1/4 inch there so that we don't have any seam sewing.
Do you want to do the other one?
And I'll do the other one.
All righty. Make sure it went through all the sides.
There we go.
Give you those back.
Okay.
All right. So now, Erica, do you want to do the big ta-da reveal?
I will. So we've done our little pinch. We've boxed those top corners, which is such a great professional finish for anything. And we're going to keep turning it out. And there we go. We've got everything ready. Let's give them their full glory.
Yep.
And all we have left to do is to bind that bottom edge. Okay, so we're going to use a 2.5 inch strip
To bind?
To bind, and we've already got it cut. We've got it pressed in half.
I'm going to let you
Oh,
bind
you
it.
silly girl. Okay. Comes to binding, she always makes me
Oh
do the
my
heavy
gosh.
lifting.
It is the bane of my existence, but I do love to watch Erica bind.
She does. So I want to leave myself a tail,
Yes.
and then I'm going to start over about here.
Purple, just for you.
Just for me? Oh, I'm not even going to use a binding clip right now.
Okay. This is such a fast and easy project to bind. It's just amazing.
Now note that as I come around to the seam, I reached underneath and opened up that seam underneath so that I didn't have to sew through all the layers at once.
And it's going to lay it nice and flat. And she's going to show you this super cool trick on how to bind. Because sometimes we have new quilters that don't know how to bind.
Right. So you want your fabric to overlap by approximately, by a little less, I do a little less, than the width of the strip you're using. So we are using a 2.5 inch strip. I'm going to
Do you
want
want a ruler?
my pieces to overlap by about 2 1/4. And that's just so that I can make sure that that binding's nice and tight. That's just kind of how I've decided what makes me happy. So I'm going to trim that selvage off. And I'm going to go ahead and I want this to overlap. I can see where that is. Right about 2 1/4 inches. I'm going to go make a little snip. And I'm going to cut then straight across. Now,
Thank you.
what you want to do is open this one up first, pull it out, open this one out next, and overlap them at that, what is that, a 90-degree?
90-degree angle.
So what you're going to do is sew corner to corner on that square that you've created. So I'm going to
An outer corner to outer corner, not
to
inner.
outer corner.
Yeah.
So I'm going to put a pin here, and I'm going to put it roughly where my seam is going to go. Okay? I'm going to go ahead and make sure I'm matched up on this side and continue that pinning at that angle. And if you're asking why, I'm going to show you, because then you can go like this and make sure that you don't have a twist in your binding before you sew it.
Which is important.
And it's also going to give you a little bit of a road map. We're going to flip this over. And the trick is to leave yourself enough fabric and not too much fabric. And you're going to sew that
I
seam.
feel like that's the trick always.
And now I'm going to just eyeball this. You could be a good quilter and mark it with a marker, but I'm just going to be a lazy quilter and eyeball it. And again, before I trim it, I'm going to pull it out and make sure that it's right before I burn my bridges and cut off this little extra.
Oh yeah, because then you have to take the whole thing off.
Right. Now, again, I'm a pretty lazy quilter, so I'm going to just kind of give this a finger press, open, fold it in half, and go back and finish it. And that's going to give me a perfectly finished binding on the outside. I'm going to overlap my stitching just a little bit. Okay, and I did back stitch on that. So now we've got that all completed, and it's a continuous binding. We don't have any raw edges, and here's where did I meet it up? You can see where it met up. Right here, you can hardly tell. So now what we want to do is go ahead and finish this by your preferred method. So you can go ahead, I think I would probably flip this to the inside and clip it. You could also use glue if you wanted to. Mm-hmm. So let's see how that's going to go. And I actually have a stitch in the ditch foot.
Ah, very cool.
Okay, so I had that to the inside. I stitched. You can see it's machine finished on the inside. And I just continue to do the same thing all the way around. And I'm ready to pop it on a toaster.
I love it. Once your cover is complete, it's time to toast your success with your Quilt-As-You-Go toaster cover. Thanks for joining us today.